Hi, this video is going to take you through the process of creating the Japanese Notan assignment. So just to take you through here, the Japanese Notan is essentially when you're playing around with black and white elements together and how they kind of work together. The way that our design is going to be laid out, we're going to start off with a square. I'm just going to click on one here. We're going to start off with a square that's black on a white, larger field, and it's going to be cutting pieces out of the black space, flipping them to the negative space, and taking some others and flipping them back and forth. The most common Japanese Notan design is this yin-yang symbol, and it's just, again, it deals with the play of light and dark, in this case black and white. And here we go. So the first thing we're going to do, let me just get to a different tab. We're going to go to Pixlr. And in Pixlr, we're going to create new. We're going to be needing a 3000 by 3000 pixel page. And we're going to set the background to white, which is all Fs. We are then going to take this layer 1, which is blank. Don't forget, we have a background that is white, but this layer is blank, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a black square on it. To do this, we're going to use the marquee select, and we're going to just drag a rectangle. It makes no difference with the sizes right now, but eventually we're going to be making this a specific size. We're going to be using black as our foreground color. Go with the paint bucket and click inside that space there. You now have these marching ants around here, this selection. Before you start moving it or resizing it, you have to get rid of that selection. And to do that quickly, you can go to Select and Deselect. The shortcut is Command D. There we go. Now, sorry, it's moving around. We are going to resize it. I don't want the zoom to be active, so I'm just going to close that out. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I want this square to be first of all, square. Right now it's a rectangle, but I want it to be a specific size. So if you see that I'm moving it bigger and smaller using the arrange tool, right here is where I can dictate the size, but I need to unlock this. So the aspect right now is fixed, which means that as I drag it bigger long ways, it's also going to get wider. But I want it to be free, which will allow me to size it up a little bit more free. The size here and here are going to be the same number. Easy way to do it. Highlight it. 1400 is the number we're using. There we go. And after you're done, you can set it up as fixed so it kind of locks it in. You now want to get it in the center. Use those pink lines. We are now going to be cutting pieces from different parts. And a good way to start off, and you can explore different possibilities, but the good way to start off is to start from one corner and go to another corner. Just going to give you a little visual here. So the idea is you want to get rid of a lot of this space in here. So when you start removing spaces, they should be kind of big. These pieces should be sort of, I was thinking about cutting this out into 4 big sections, cutting them out from starting from the corner out. So this should be about the size of your pieces that you're going to end up with. That was just a visual. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to start with the lasso tool. We have 2 different lassos that we're going to be using. We have the free, and then we have the polygon. The free is going to make wavy, curved lines, whereas the polygon is going to use straight lines. Excuse me. So I am going to start at the corner, and I'm going to kind of come out here, and I'm going to drag this line into the corner. And I'm going to start making my line. Now, if I mess up like I just did, I can delete this by hitting Command D. That's the shortcut to deselect. Alright, so I'm just going to go with a wavy kind of line. And I'm kind of starting from one corner and going to the other corner. I want to cut this out of this white, of this black. Now you see I kind of came out into the white space, which is completely fine. Nothing's going to happen to this white space. This is only going to affect this black square. Make sure this layer is active, meaning make sure that it's not unselected. You want to make sure it's highlighted. Okay, so I am going to now go to Edit, Cut, and you can see the cut it, and I'm going to paste it now. And then I'm going to go to Paste. Here's your shortcuts. Command X, Command V. Pixlr is going to ask if you can access the clipboard. Please allow it, otherwise you will not be able to get those pieces cut and pasted. So you can see here's my piece that I have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to the back, to the negative space. You have some shortcuts right here. You have some buttons. This will flip it left and right. This will flip it up and down. I want to flip it over here to the right, so I'm going to flip it horizontally. I'm then going to move it, and the guidelines kind of help you. You have those green and pink lines that help you out. So there we go. And you can see that the space is, this white space should be the same exact size as the black space. You can see that I have a little bit of white space here, and I have a little bit of black space there. And that is the first shape. I'm going to continue this and go to the other side. Okay, go from one to the other. So you need to be aware you have two layers now. You have this layer, I'm just hitting the eyeball to make it invisible. And then I have this one here. So, what am I going to be cutting this out of? I'm going to be cutting out of this layer, so you want to make sure that that is active. Command X. Now I'm going to use the shortcuts. Command V. I use the Arrange tool. I move it over here, and now I'm going to flip it again horizontally, but this one's going over here. Okay. If you have problems seeing these because it's dark on dark, you can go to Edit and go down to Preferences, and you can change the workspace color. For demonstration, and sometimes I switch off, you're going to notice on the Promethean I have it set up to a lighter color. And what that does is it allows me to see those shapes a lot better. Okay, I'm going to continue on. This time I'm going to switch over to the polygon lasso. I'm going to go to the layer that I'm going to be cutting from, which is this one. And again, I can click on the visibility. And it's going to be a jagged line. And I am purposely getting real close to the edge of the other one. And I'm just kind of changing the size and the direction of that line. I'm making it kind of an interesting shape. Then I come out here. All right. Command X, Command V. And this time I'm going to be flipping it vertically up like this. Okay. So when you first start, and you're going to just practice, try out the different lassos, see which ones you like better. You like them both. You definitely can incorporate both into your final design, but it's not required. So again, I need to know which layer I'm on. I'm on that one. Command X, Command V, and flip. Okay. I'm going to show you some different things you can do. Now that you have these 4 pieces out, we're going to take some pieces and we're going to be bringing them back in. I'm going to zoom in to this particular one right here. So I'm going to go again with, I'll do the polygonal lasso. So you can continue to do this process, but if you wanted to make more than one piece to cut out, you can change this mode from New Selection to Add to Selection. You see, when you go to New Selection, when you switch over to a different section, it's only allowing you to cut out one piece at a time. If I go to Add to Selection, I can keep on building, and I can do multiple pieces at one time, and it'll be on one layer. So again, I'm going to get kind of intricate here. And as I said before, it doesn't make any difference if you end up on the white space. It's not going to interfere with the white space. It's only going to affect this layer. So now I'm going to figure out which layer it's going to be. I think it's this one. Yep. And Command X to cut it, Command V to paste it. So you can see pretty quickly it starts to get very, very interesting looking. And you need to line that up. You don't want to have it overlapping. It should just be right. Line up just like that. There's a method to move your pieces pixel by pixel. If you look at your keyboard, you're going to see that you have arrows on the bottom right. And what you can do is you can do this process called nudging. I'm clicking on those arrows and I'm moving it pixel by pixel. So if you want to get a little more accurate. All right. So let's do a different method over here. Slide over here now. Let's go to the regular lasso. And I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to make a shape. And I'm going to make another shape. So I'm going to do like bubbly kind of shapes. Now if I mess up and I need to get rid of that, I can go to Remove from Selection and just carefully circle around that shape and it'll disappear. So I'm going to go back to Add to Selection. Now, right now I have these bubbly kind of shapes. But if I wanted to make them into donuts or Cheerios, that kind of shape, add a little bit more there. Just fix that. If I wanted to make them like O's, like I said, like Cheerios or donuts, what I can do is I can hit Subtract from Selection or Remove from Selection, and I can go inside here and remove them, those areas. So we'll see what this looks like in a second. And as I said, if you wanted to make any modifications, like if you wanted to just redo this one, you can remove the whole thing from Selection. Go to Add to Selection. It takes a little bit. It gets a little confusing sometimes. So even if I wanted to make that a little bigger, okay, and then I remove it. All right. And which layer is it? I think it's that one. Yep. Command X. Command V. You can see that they made them into more interesting shapes. And I flip it horizontally. So you're just going to kind of keep going with this and just make sure it's lined up proper. You want this side to look like the negative of that side. So you don't want to keep it like that. You want it like that. You kind of have to line it up proper so this white space looks like this black space, like a mirror image. That's pretty good. And again, if you want to nudge it, you can use the arrows. If you want to bring it in a little bit closer. All right, and let me zoom back out and take a look at this and see what this is starting to look like. Oops. Yeah. So already it's starting to look pretty interesting. So you just keep kind of going back and forth. So if I want to work on these areas right here, circle around. And if you want to do them in little pieces at a time, you totally can do that. Command X, Command V, and just be aware of where you're pasting them. They go over here, and you gotta flip them. Okay, and that's the beginning of that process. So good luck with it all, and hope you enjoy it.